Join us this Saturday night for Friendo Fest 24, our very first 24-hour live stream at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We'll be doing live watch-alongs, playing video games with friendos, and having some special guests planned to drop by. Go follow and hang out, yeah?
Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly.
Hello, Steve. Hello, Larson. It's me, Dexter Loomis, NXT Superstar. So here's my shout out to the Going In Raw podcast. Clever name.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, where in a mere, what is today? Thursday? 48 hours.
Less than that.
45 and a half hours.
Roughly.
We will be starting.
Oh, wow, really?
24 hours nonstop of Steve and Larson. If at this point you're subscribed to the Patreon, you're a Twitch sub, or you're a YouTube channel member, and you watch all of our other stuff, you might, and you still think, I need more Steve and Larson in my life.
Get a whole day
Number
of it.
one, there's something obviously wrong with you.
Yeah.
But number two, you'll get a whole 24 hours of us. At that point, you'll hopefully be sick of us. We're going to be playing some Rocket League, other games with friendos.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, probably. We're going to be doing a live Unsolved Mysteries watch-along. No, I'm not doing that tonight. I'm going to save it for Saturday night. We're going to be doing a live watch-along of Money in the Bank 2011, along with a recap afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing a live watch-along via Amazon Prime. So, like, if you have Amazon Prime, the movie itself should be on our window, on our screen, on Twitch.
The movie is Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, correct? So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, so good times, good times. Anyways, NXT happened.
It did.
Now we're here to talk about it. That's what we do.
It's true. Yeah, it happened, and it was enjoyable. I still don't feel like a whole lot happened. You know what I mean? Like, the matches were good from a storyline perspective. Granted, I know they just came out of conclusion in a lot of ways of several storylines. We got a new North American champion. Last night, Damien Priest had his first defense. Just a couple weeks back, or was it just last week? Finn won the NXT title. Guess what? There's a takeover in 2 weeks. So they got to build up for that.
Wait, when is take? Oh, it's October 4th, isn't it?
4th, yeah.
Oh,
so it's a bit of a reset period.
Yeah.
And they're setting stuff up. So next week, we'll get 2 new number 1 contenders. One for the women's title. There's a battle royal for that. And then for the NXT title, they're having this eliminator gauntlet match, which is kind of like someone here in chat mentioned it, and I thought that too. It's like Lucha Underground's Aztec Warfare, kind of. Although I don't think there's 30 participants. I think they said 5. Is that what I heard?
Oh, there's only 5 participants?
I thought that's what they said, but
okay,
I could be wrong.
Okay. I was thinking more of a which AAA match? Rey Reyes, is that the one?
Yeah. It's kind of like that too, where every
like that
few
too.
minutes someone comes in. Yeah.
But there's like more people, I think, in the Rey Reyes.
Yeah, there's like 12.
There's like a bunch of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting concept that's coming up. Yeah, a lot of this is set up, but it's like, man, you don't have a whole lot of time. I mean, look, this takeover coming up, it's the Super Tuesdays. Those were pretty much like the takeovers, of like now, and then they've got another takeover coming up. Yeah, the last 2 weeks they've done the big Super Tuesdays, and I feel like they use those to make the real pitch for, hey, come watch NXT back on Wednesdays, and yeah, they I'm not necessarily gonna say spinning of the wheels, but there was no big moment. So I figured I'll put her on the thumbnail because probably her most high-profile match to date is somebody who quite obviously is going to be a future cornerstone of the women's division in WWE, in long-term, short-term, certainly NXT. She's already basically there. Shotzi Blackheart, Northern California's own Shotzi Blackheart, had a really terrific match against Io Shirai last night with some pretty brutal moments.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like, what's the At what month in 2021, or is it going to be all the way to 2021 until she becomes new NXT Women's Champion?
Well, that's assuming she stays at NXT that long. Yeah. Shotzi's been wrestling around Northern California for a while. You know, she was a fixture of Hood Slam, if I remember correctly. But you know, as soon as she showed up at NXT, it seems like she'd been in NXT for months already. When she had, you know, it's I don't know if she's was already that good, or if she just really quickly adapted to how WWE does things. I don't know. But you know, it was pretty soon after she signed that she was on NXT TV, and they didn't seem to be shy about putting her in high profile situations basically immediately.
Yeah.
She had that bit running with Shayna. You know, shortly after she debuted, she's been in pretty high-profile feuds since she stepped foot in the company, and that's great because she's awesome. It's just very rare that we see someone who isn't like a huge name nationally on the independents get put, like, you know, for example, I know Karrion Kross, he was an Impact. That's not an independent per se, but it's a national promotion, and people that are aware of pro wrestling are aware of him generally. He gets put right in the main event scene. Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, you know, Sami Zayn. Whenever they come to NXT, Keith Lee, although Keith Lee didn't really do much for a year. You know, whenever they come to NXT, they're pretty much on TV immediately doing stuff. People who they sign who aren't as well known nationally, sometimes it takes a while for them to debut. And it wasn't the case with her. She was on TV basically immediately and showing people how awesome she was, and she's only gotten better.
I can't think of anybody who was as fully formed, and not just fully formed, but she has, I mean, everything about her character and her look is, look, it's one thing to be, you mentioned his name, Kevin Owens. It's one thing to be Kevin Steen. He's a dude who wears basketball shorts and a cutoff shirt. And there's not, look, there. What are you laughing
Sorry,
at?
Jonathan here in chat says Larson shoots hard on Keith Lee, calls him to do nothing. It wasn't his fault he didn't do anything. Creative seemingly had nothing for him his first year there.
Wow, I didn't know you hated Keith Lee.
I love Keith Lee.
He's great. But like, there's a lot going on with Shotzi. Like her look, her, you know, the way she's designed, her character, all that kind of stuff. It's a really well thought out, well put together package.
And here's the thing about it too, is that the potential's there for her as a character to appeal to basically every demographic.
Yeah, dude, she is made to be an action figure. She's made to have, you know, t-shirts and Hot Topic. She's, you know, you're right. You're absolutely right. But like, I can't think of somebody who was so like, I don't like, I'm not going to say like her, I guess it kind of is. Her look, her character, they're fairly, like, I'm going to say complex. What's the word I'm looking for? Because
layered.
like it's one
There's
layered.
dimension to it.
It's one thing to come in as just a dude who's like good on the mic and a really good wrestler. It's another thing to come in as somebody who's got this amazing outfit, whose like look is so on point and like detailed.
Drives a tank.
And drives a tank. But like, it's funny, our friend from the Busted Wide Open podcast, Ian, posted a video of her from the Bay Area hosting some sort of like cult movie night or something, where she has like a crazy mask on and she's got like these fireworks coming out of a stick that she's like waving around. And she comes from that sort of scene where it's very much like, you know, you got all the people who dress up in weird costumes and they want to go out and do some crazy stuff or watch Rocky Horror Picture Show or whatever. That kind of scene, you know what I mean? Like in the Bay Area where it's like a really big thing, and she knows the showmanship aspect of things, like having done this kind of stuff. Like, this is the perfect fit for her to come in and automatically come off as seasoned and a veteran. And it's just, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
And she's a fantastic wrestler to boot, you know?
That's the word. Zondo says she's very grindhouse. That's exactly the word. And when you're at the forefront of that kind of stuff in a scene that's as big as that in the Bay Area, this is the perfect venue for that. It's the perfect venue for that.
Like everything about her packaging, her character work is defined. There's no question about
exactly
who she is, what her character is. You know, her packaging fits her character. Her wrestling style fits her character. Like in terms of, you know, I still don't know what Damien Priest's character is. He's been in NXT for what, 2 years? Don't know, honestly.
Well, I do. I mean, he makes it kind of obvious. He's party guy.
Yeah, but that's not, I mean, that's a gimmick, not really a character. Like, what's there beyond party guy?
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I kind of know who he is. I think there are other examples.
I'll say this. Sometimes I feel like I don't know if Damien Priest knows who his character is. Does that make sense? So
I understand what you're saying. I think there is a big piece of evidence for what you're saying about Priest, and that is when there was that brief snippet of behind the scenes stuff where he's talking to Triple H and Triple H is explaining things to him and he's saying, you know, and then we got to get to the point where, you know, what we're presenting starts to meld with who you are. And
I don't think they've found that yet.
And there is a bit of a process, or there is a bit of a process, whether you think that they have or I think they have, of like figuring that out. I think we could both agree with Shotzi. I don't think that ever needed to be explained.
No, I don't think so. I think she knew all that before she ever stepped foot in NXT.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, she comes across as somebody who is really popular in a different company for years and came to NXT. And it's like, that's, you know, it's insane to have somebody that, like you said, didn't have that national exposure, didn't have that big exposure come in and be so perfectly put together. She's great. The match with her and Io Shirai,
fantastic.
If I'm not mistaken, kicked off NXT last night. So we could just dive right into that. A couple of the spots in this match, like I said earlier, were pretty brutal. That there was what was it? The suplex. Yeah. The German suplex on the apron. I don't know why people still do that.
I don't know. That straitjacket suplex that Shotzi did to Io, those always look rough.
Those, yeah.
Because you can't break your fall with the arms, you know, like a German suplex. At least you break your fall like you're supposed to with like a power bomb bump.
Well, didn't Kazarian do that to Hangman last night? And Hangman, was it like? Is there a difference between like the straitjacket or like a double arm German suplex? Like when you have the person's arms like this, and they're like
I guess the idea is the same, as that you can't put your arms out flat to disperse.
Hangman took one of those yesterday where his head was like this close for it, like swept the mat. Anyways, yeah, that was all good stuff. And then Io Shirai with these finishing moonsaults. This one was rough.
Yeah, it was all knees and shins to Shotzi's rib cage, and as soon as the ref counted the pinfall, he goes to Shotzi. He's like, "Are you okay?" And you see her do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good that you see her shake her head. Yes.
Yeah.
Because Io, when she does that moonsault, she has a lot of velocity coming off that top rope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of force behind it, so it's good that Shotzi was okay, because that could have been rough.
Yeah, a couple like a foot up, and man, that landed on her jaw. That would sucked.
Yeah. But a really great match, another great showing for Shotzi. Really, the sky's the limit for her. She's fantastic, and I'm hoping for huge things for in NXT.
Yeah, same. All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's episode, NordVPN. Sure, the internet can be good, but it could also be kind of a scary place full of hackers trying to shoot on your security and pry into your personal data.
But you can protect yourself with NordVPN. NordVPN offers double data encryption and lets you browse the web in private, because NordVPN prevents data logging. In fact, NordVPN has a strict no logs policy. That means they'll never track, collect, or share your data.
That's right. NordVPN is compatible with most operating systems, including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, iOS, and Android, and offers 24/7 product support and a 30-day money-back guarantee to ensure your satisfaction.
NordVPN even has a user-friendly Chrome extension, provides Limited bandwidth on super fast servers with up to 6 simultaneous connections.
And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 68% off NordVPN, only $3.71 per month. Plus, you get an additional month free at nordvpn.com/raw or use the coupon code RAW. After that, Io and Shotzi, they sort of hug it out. We get a Tommaso Ciampa video package, followed by Denzel Dejournette, who's now
he's got
going
a new name
by the name Destroy Desmond Troy. That's great. The thing I like about him is that he's got this cool new name, right? But he still has like just a sort of normal wrestling singlet.
Yeah, he has a singlet still.
In the smallest letters, this is the details that we're talking about before the cameras roll. In the smallest letters, it says something like "destroy," I don't know, something.
See, I couldn't even see what it said on my laptop.
It was so small. It's like, what's your name, son? Destroy. What? Destroy. Okay. Anyways, this match did not last very long. It was all Tommaso Ciampa.
But Desmond or Destroyed did get a little bit of offense, and it only seemed to irritate Ciampa though.
Mm-hmm. He got seesawed into the underneath the bottom turnbuckle there, then hit that draping DDT and got 3. Jake Atlas comes out at that point, says, "Hey, remember me?" He says, "I know how dangerous you are because you've been at the top of the food chain for a long time, but next week I'm hungry. I want to eat too." And so I'm going to fight you to eat some food.
Yeah.
After that, Drake Maverick shows up at Full Sail. He's rolling up with his wrestling gear bag. And the interviewer says, "Hey, what's your game plan for you and Killian Dane? Because I got a tag match tonight with the Undisputed Era." And he's like, "Well, we're going to use teamwork to beat the Undisputed Era." He's like, I haven't actually heard from the guy for a week. And he's punched me out like twice now. He's like, "You don't happen to have a cell phone number, do you? Because I really need to get in contact with this guy."
Yeah. He says, "That's going to be fine." Mm-hmm. After that, Finn Balor promo. He didn't use any wrestling jargon here that I remember. But it's pretty much Cole is undisputed, but there's only one prince. And everybody's asking him, what's it like to be champ now 4 years after you're champ the first time? How is NXT different? In the past, he said he built this brand, carried the brand, but the future is different. He doesn't need the brand. He made the brand. The brand needs him. Tells everyone to get in line because it starts with him. And you better look both ways before you cross the prince. And he was inferring that he might actually go to the main roster and defend the NXT title against Drew or Roman Reigns.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Okay, I'll be honest with you.
That's what I gathered because there were shots of them.
Oh, okay. I zoned out completely after the first couple, after the first minute or so, where he was just recapping, and I was like, oh. It's ironic because he remember that time he took a jab at Cole and said, "You're a transitional champion," and we're sitting here thinking this guy's been champion for 400 days.
I know.
Finn really feels like transitional champion.
Well, he's probably just holding that belt till Karrion Kross gets healthy.
Till somebody comes up, and either it's gonna be him again, or till the whatever. Anyways, so after that, we had a promo from, this is going to be difficult to talk about. All Day Superstar. He thinks the WWE Hall of Fame has first ballots because he said, "I'm going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer." We're like, what Hall of Fame are you talking about? WWE's just based on Vince's whims. He says, then he basically issues an open challenge. So Kushida comes down.
Yeah.
And he's got the new aggressive style.
Yeah, it's great.
So, can you think of a commonality between Velveteen Dream and Austin Theory, Larson, that Kushida has attacked very aggressively both these guys?
Yeah.
Anyways, Kushida.
He won. Kushida won.
He was really aggressive here. So we'll see who maybe he'll go to the UK next week. He'll have a whole pool of opponents there. After that, so he tapped out Austin Theory.
Yeah, hoverboard lock. It was great because Kushida used some Danielson stomps, which are great move. Oh, and Shotzi did cattle mutilation. Daniel Bryan's finish in Ring of Honor. That's such a great move. It looks like it hurts so bad. So we got to see two old school Bryan Danielson moves in one night. It was fantastic. Next, we got a Matt Chat question from the Gargano family. Because it's Candice shooting her promo on her iPhone.
Yeah.
While Gargano's upset about the TV that got broken last week, he's online looking to buy a new one, and he says he's going to send Tegan the bill. Meanwhile, Candice is talking about the Battle Royal next week. She mentions winner gets EO at TakeOver. Gargano interrupts her, says he found a huge TV, 100 inches.
It's gonna be It's gonna be like staring into the sun.
He said we're gonna have a celebration, not just with the new TV, but when we're both wearing gold.
Yeah. So, dude, you know what? The days of the iPhone promo, I think. So later on, Tegan Knox. We'll just talk about it now.
That wasn't even iPhone. That was like webcam promo.
She has her response. This wasn't fit for TV, and I'm sorry. Like, it started to go downhill. Like, the problem. I don't know if it's their phone. Like, at least with Candace's, like, she was filming out like here, so like she was in like the foreground, Gargano was in the background. Stuff is happening in the living room. It didn't really look that bad. It was fit for TV for the most part. The Tegan Knox one was so bad because she was. I think that her intensity was probably there. But through the pixelation, the lack of any lighting in that room.
Oh, the audio was not good.
The audio was horrible. Dude, send somebody over with a DSL or even an iPhone, like a decent iPhone, and like get some sort of decent background or backdrop or a $6 color light from Walmart to put behind them, or put it in black and white. But this dude, come on, this was like a webcam, like what my kid uses for distance learning.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Mrs. Knox there for kindergarten class. Hey kids, open up your shape book. By the way, Io Shirai, I'm coming after you or something.
Yeah. From a production standpoint, it wasn't great.
Oh, so bad.
What was great, though, was Breezango versus Imperium in tag team action for the tag titles. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great match. It was a fun match.
This was Fandango getting his butt kicked for about 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He got beat up.
Yeah. And then whenever, I don't know what's worse, missing or hitting the top rope leg drop. He's got at some point.
I mean, I feel like the impact on the spine of the person delivering is the same whether you hit it or not. That's a lot of impact on your tailbone from.
Yeah, but I don't know if when you
air.
have one leg up, if that, like, I mean,
it might
most
be
of the impact
worse,
happens
maybe
to the
because
tailbone.
then there's less of a surface area for the impact to disperse across. Maybe.
I
don't know. And also, too, if you hit unevenly, that's impact going unevenly through your body. It might actually lead to more injury. You know, doing the standard leg drops jacked up Hogan's back.
Yeah, I know, and that's just
so.
He's also like on tons of like, you know, steroids and stuff. So who knows how that might have. But still, you do that
when you're doing the leg drop
1,000 times,
300 days a year over the course of 20 years, if not more.
It's not going to be good. It's not going to.
No, it's not good for your body.
Yeah,
not good for your body. But this was good. This was a really fun match.
Yeah, this is great.
The finish saw Imperium look for their own finish on Tyler Breeze, and then Fandango drop kicks Eichner into his own corner, and while the momentum sends Eichner towards Bartel, Breeze pushes him, and then Breeze hits a victory roll on Eichner, rolls him up, get the win. A lot of great back and forth, but by and large, this match was Fandango getting beat up by Imperium.
Yeah.
Imperium looked great in this match.
Yeah, they look terrific. They're heading right back to it's on right now, NXT UK. That's where they're
they might show up on the episode today. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out, by the way, to Tyler Breeze and his Twitch channel, along with Sean Spears and Baron Corbin. We rated them last night, and both Breeze and Spears were very grateful and happy to hear from us. Baron Corbin was there too.
I was very happy to see because we had rated. Was it just when Breeze was streaming on that channel?
I think so.
Yeah, and he remembered. He remembered that we had rated before, and that was weeks ago. So we got an opportunity to talk to Tyler Breeze about a couple of years back at one of the WWE 2K events. Seemed like an awesome dude.
Oh man, both those guys are just really terrific.
Yeah,
really terrific.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. So after that, we had hey, you know what? Number one, when people ask this question, who that is underused in NXT would be great in AEW? Xia Li.
Mm-hmm.
She maybe they're going to start using her a lot more right now, but the women's division is already so packed. But Xia Li is so good, and they barely use her.
I know.
For her to go to AEW would kick that women's division up a couple notches.
Yeah.
That's
and I'm really impressed with the chemistry that Kayden Carter and Kacy have.
Dude, the combo offense was just off the hook. Let me ask this, because I was thinking about this during the match. I thought it'd be a fun conversation to have.
All right,
man. Here's the deal. You and I, we're in the WWE. I don't know what brand we're on, but
what's our role? What's our role in WWE?
We're wrestlers.
Okay,
we're wrestlers.
You just didn't specify.
Well, actually, no. Let's say this. We're in an imaginary, very high-profile national wrestling company. Okay.
All right.
We have a couple options.
All right.
Either dive into a division that is wholly oversaturated, or go for a division that is, as together, a tag team division that is underused but also underpopulated. Because Kacy and Kayden right now are so good as a tag team. Do you think they got together and said, hey, listen, let's be the best tag team we can be and try to eke out some time in the women's tag division? Because that might be more of a showcase than going into a very, very deep women's division.
That's entirely possible. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the circumstance, and I guess if NXT doesn't emphasize tag wrestling as much as AEW, but they put more of an emphasis on it than main roster does.
But there's almost zero emphasis for the women in NXT.
I know. So maybe, I guess it kind of, to a degree, it makes sense because there's not NXT women tag titles. So unless the WWE women's tag champions are going to make an appearance, yeah, you can build up some women tag teams, but there's no belt specific to NXT to fight over, you know?
I think if they say, listen, given just how deep the NXT women's division is, maybe we should take a chance at being the top women's tag team in NXT.
Definitely.
And that might propel us to main roster when more. Kayden Carter, especially last night.
She's really good.
There was another level of intensity that I saw from her that I had not seen before. The tag chemistry was even better than it was last time we saw them. But when towards the finish, when Kayden got the tag in, it was like, I sort of liken it to Buddy Murphy. You know, like when we used to watch Buddy Murphy on 205 and it was just like a revelation. It was like, oh my God, she is kicking this up several levels of intensity up. I thought it was absolutely great.
Yeah.
I thought it was
and that
really
finish
great.
of theirs is really good. I guess going back to the scenario there you posited, it's hard to tell because women's tag wrestling and WWE in total is always such a start and stop thing.
Oh yeah.
To say, okay, we're going to concentrate on doing this without any hope of it ever going anywhere. Kayden Carter's, before she started tag teaming with Kacy, had been on TV some, granted more so in enhancement matches. Same with Kacy. So, I mean, if this was a thing where they said, hey, let's try this, assuming they're given that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what they're being told.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
To try to make a name for themselves, then sure. But, to jump in there thinking for sure this is what's going to help make our name when WWE doesn't really put a whole lot of time and emphasis on the women tag division, especially in terms of the titles being defended in NXT. It's hard to make that wager, It's
a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But in any event, in my opinion, seeing them tag together has only elevated both of their stocks.
Oh, definitely.
It's worked really, really well. This was a really, really fun match. Xia Li's really good. Jessie Kamea seems to be learning some stuff too. But yeah, it was all about the tag chemistry here. I watched that finish a couple times and I was like,
great.
How did that even happen? That was great. So Kayden Carter got a hot tag, goes really hard on Xia Li, and then she holds up Xia Li like by the arms.
It's a crucifix bomb.
That's right. She got into a crucifix bomb position. Kacy comes in, pump kicks into the crucifix bomb, and then they somehow changed positions so that Carter got out and Kacy came in for the pin.
Yeah, a jackknife cover, no less.
Yeah. I had to watch that a couple times. Like, I don't even know how to write that down.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was creative. It was
really
creative.
good.
And it's always great to see tag teams, especially, combine moves into something new and creative. It was great.
Yeah, and that happened a couple times during this match. Like, I barely wrote anything down because I was just watching it. It was so much fun. So afterwards, there was some sportsmanship that turned sour because both teams were like, hey, good job. But Xia Li was like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So she just left. So I imagine next week we're probably going to get some more with her and either Kacy or Kayden or both of them or whatever.
Seems like it. Next, Drake Maverick's backstage. He walks up to Killian Dane, asks him if, Killian, you ready for our match tonight? And Dane just says, we're not friends and we're not partners.
Nope.
You're on your own tonight.
Yep. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, then the aforementioned Tegan Knox promo. The content was fine and whatnot. It just, from a production aspect, it wasn't.
Dude, even if she was holding her phone, there's any number of ways, but this was, and like she just has like blank walls. She has her gaming setup behind her, which is fine. But yeah, and here's the thing. She's not a TV producer. She's not that.
No, the
this
expectation
is
not on
NXT.
her to produce this. Yes, the producer's NXT to make this captivating from a production standpoint that we listen and care about what she's saying. Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
This was freaking unacceptable.
NXT dropped the ball.
They really did. After that, this was fun. The Undisputed Era took on Drake Maverick, and then Killian Dane decided to wander down at some point.
Well, it's because Rico came up to him and was like, hey, isn't that your tag team partner? And Dane says, yeah, whatever. Well, you may do something about it? And he just kind of got up and left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just goes down and takes Drake off the floor and puts him in the ring and says, good luck. You're on your own.
He said, take it like a man.
Oh, yeah. And then Roddy had to call him, a fat dork or something like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't keep his mouth shut.
Yeah. So, that was great. The Undisputed Era is still good for that stuff. Although there's some weird stuff going on with the next thing with Undisputed Era.
I like how Kyle at the end. Well, here, let's get to this. We'll get to that point.
Yeah.
The end of that I thought was pretty funny.
So Drake Maverick is basically in a handicap match. He's getting his ass whooped. He starts to come alive a little bit against Bobby Fish. Fish is able to tag in strong, though, and it's done at that point. So eventually they get Drake on the outside. That's when Dane comes out, puts Drake back in and says, take it like a man. He starts to walk away. Roderick calls him a fat idiot. Dane comes back. He starts beating the crap out of Undisputed Era. Bobby Fish brings a chair in, hits Dane. So Undisputed Era DQ'd. Drake and Dane get the win.
Yep.
Dane takes out both the Undisputed Era, throws them out. Drake starts like running around all happy because they technically got the win. And he's like, see, look, we're the winners. He sells this amazingly. Dane just kills him with a punch. And then after that, we got a roving interview with Jake Atlas, kind of in the parking lot just outside of Full Sail.
Yeah.
And he's like being asked, hey, you're stepping up to Ciampa. What's that all about? And he starts talking about it. Of course, he gets attacked by Ciampa, brings him over to the production truck, throws him into that. Kyle O'Reilly comes out of nowhere. It's like, hey, man, you got a match next week. Save it for that.
Yeah. So Ciampa leaves. He waves. He talks some trash to O'Reilly, waves. And then Kyle is walking away and just goes to Jake Atlas, are you okay? And Jake says, yeah. And Kyle says, all right, get up then. That was it. As he's walking away.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, me too. So that's another thing we can talk about. Are they going to do a solo thing with Kyle? Did Triple H, is he looking at Kyle O'Reilly and been like, okay, you're the guy. You're the second guy in Undisputed Era who needs to be a solo guy. He's a terrific personality and a terrific wrestler. It makes sense.
He is. He's a former Ring of Honor champion. He was a PWG champ. I mean, he's got the pedigree beyond all the tag team accolades. He's a really good wrestler. Yeah.
And didn't he like break up Undisputed Era didn't he come out and was trying to hold them off from beating up Drake too much last week? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So next week, William Regal announces that next week there will be the Gauntlet Eliminator match. 2-men start. Every 4 minutes, someone else enters. You're only eliminated by pinfall or submission. Last man standing wins and takes on Finn Balor at TakeOver.
Mr. Baylor.
And then next week, there's also the Women's Battle Royal. Winner gets EO at TakeOver. And then Ciampa versus Jake Atlas next week as well.
Mm-hmm. And then we had our main event, Damien Priest versus Timothy Thatcher. Thatch can. That's how this match basically kicked off. Thatcher was doing a lot of wrestling.
Well, then at the very beginning, Priest was like, handling Thatch can pretty good. He wasn't getting out wrestled.
Maybe he was taking Thatch can lessons online.
Maybe
I was doing online classes, Thatch can 101.
Eventually, though, it was a battle of mat wrestling versus Damien Priest striking. He left his feet a couple times, paid for it. In the end, though, Damien Priest went to the top, hit a spinning heel kick, followed with the Reckoning to get the win. It was a fun match. It was good to see some legit intensity out of Damien Priest. I feel like if they because for so long it seemingly was, well, even in loss I gain momentum, which is always like, I don't get that. But if he, now that he's got a title, he starts getting some wins, successfully defending it, gets some confidence. Maybe this whole thing about him not knowing exactly who he is from a character perspective was all about his character not having confidence. Like, he has this facade of being a put together party dude. Now that he has title, get some wins, get some real momentum, he'll get some actual confidence and stop doing promos like this, I
don't know, man. I feel like his character has. I think like the dude playing the character might wander off sometimes. But this guy is in a hot tub with like beautiful women.
Yeah.
And he's a North American champion, main eventing NXT. I don't think he's lacking in confidence.
No, I'm saying that's the story maybe a bit, is that he's trying to build his confidence back up. Because a lot of those promos, like, even in lost to Finn Balor, gained a lot of momentum. It's like, that doesn't sound like a man who's really sure of himself.
No, it sounds like a man who just has misplaced confidence. I don't think he's lacking in it. He's like, yeah, you know what? Whatever. I'm still the best. I can see I get momentum even with losses. I'm not great.
It could just as easily be a front. He's
I like
deflecting
that.
the
Hey,
real issues.
that's good. Looking pretty deep into it. I like it. Looking for the subtext. Anyways, let's answer some questions.
Sure.
I'll have to bring them up first.
All right, very well.
Oh, here we go. QA thread.
Wolverine, who will EO drop the belt to in the future? You got to think the leading contender is probably Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, it kind of feels like. I mean, it's. I don't know who's going to come out of that battle royal. I mean, this is kind of. It feels like a non-consequential takeover. So
it's actually really surprising they announced it. They just officially announced it 2 weeks before it happens.
Yeah. What was there a theme to this one? I forgot.
No, they haven't announced any sort of theme. It should be Halloween Havoc. I don't know if it will be.
That'd be great. We're gonna do
next
the first
one's
ever
not until December.
Halloween costume contest battle royal.
There we go. Yeah, the women's battle royal should all be Halloween themed. Yes.
Who didn't Io took on Dakota Kai at the last takeover, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to come out of this.
Well, it won't be Tegan. It won't be Candice. If Mercedes is part of Retribution, then I didn't notice her in the graphic. But if her loss in the cage was to kind of write her off NXT, then she probably won't interfere and cost Rhea the match.
But here's the thing. They had the opening, the intro recapped their cage match.
Yeah.
So it's not like she quantum leaped out. Quantum leapt. Leapt. Whatever. Anyways. Scotty Sparks. I was watching All In again over the weekend. I was shocked to realize that Dexter Lumis was part of the fight team that walked Nick Aldis to the ring for the NWA title match against Cody. It was former NWA champions. Well, that's why he was there. He's a former NWA
Samuel
champion.
Shaw.
Sam Shaw.
So here's who's in the graphic for this women's battle royal. There's Kacy, Indy Hartwell, Aaliyah, Dakota Kai, Candice, Rhea, Tegan, Shotzi, Raquel Gonzalez, Kayden Carter, and Xia Li.
It'd be fun if it was Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun. And then you could do a thing with her and Dakota Kai if Raquel loses because of Dakota Kai. It could be like the MJF Wardlow thing.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That sounds like it might be. That wouldn't shock me. Raquel's so much fun to watch, too. She's like a really fun wrestler. That's the thing about Damien Priest I wanted to mention is that, man, like as much as I appreciated the Thatcher Finn Balor match at TakeOver, dude, Damien Priest, he's so much fun because he can adapt to like any style.
Totally.
He can always have a really fun match with people.
No, I really like Damien Priest.
Yeah.
Shane's birthday tweet, Bronson also attacked and beat up Velveteen Dream and Austin Theory.
There you go. There's a new faction forming, perhaps, with a certain agenda. Send them into the UK. Rich the Smash Bro. Wade Barrett admitted to being afraid of Shotzi. It's the weirdos. He says, who else is bad news afraid of? I was actually just listening yesterday to The Art of Wrestling. Mm-hmm. One of his most recent, it was in March, it was like when COVID was starting, interviews with Wade Barrett.
Oh, yeah.
And it's honestly like it's so difficult to press pause on that because Wade's voice is so good, especially in a podcast.
Yeah.
Who else is he afraid of? He told this great story about a guy who was billed. He was talking about being an OVW, and people would come in, and you knew instantly if they were going to make it or not, or at least they're going to give it a shot or not. And one week, so they overlap by Colt and him were in OVW around the same time. Mm-hmm. And there was like a week before Colt Cabana left or was fired or whatever, this dude came in and he was hailed as like a huge like fighting, like a pro wrestling fighting sensation in like Germany. Mm-hmm. But the guy, no, in Brazil, but he was from Germany. And apparently this guy had gotten Ric Flair's email address and convinced Ric Flair that he was this legend, this pro wrestling legend in like Europe or Brazil or something. And so he shows up, and it became obvious immediately when he ran the ropes and like 3 times and tripped over the ropes every single time. Like he would run them and then fall through them. He literally didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And he was gone within like 3 weeks because it became obvious that he had just faked everything he had talked about. I don't know. It was funny. Let's see here. Oh, wow. AEW 886, NXT 689.
Ooh. Wow. Well,
NXT succeeded in keeping AEW from getting over 1 million, I guess.
Yeah, still lost by 200,000 though. Glamorous Jar saw the news this morning. Give a big congrats to Cal Jack for getting on to Bloodsport. Yeah, we talked about that last night.
I can't wait for that, man.
So happy.
I can't wait for that.
So happy for Cal. I know he's been working really hard to get something of this magnitude, a match of this magnitude. I'm happy he finally got it.
Yeah, dude, I hope this just means more big things for him.
Definitely.
We'll have a real insider feeding us info. Blake Whitehouse, is it just me, or does NXT just feel weird right now? Not bad, but weird. It's definitely transitionary right now. I feel like both their champions are... Like Io Shirai's championship reign, it already has kind of an Andrade feel to it. Where it's like, yeah, he's good and he's reliable, but it doesn't feel like it feels like she's probably just going to head to main, like they're just waiting until the next person they want to really push is going to be champion, like Shotzi or Rhea again. Mm-hmm. And Finn felt the exact same thing with Finn. Feels like they're in a rebuilding. Like the only person who feels like, okay, they're going to give this guy, they've given him the ball is Damien Priest.
Yeah, even Breezango. I kind of feel like they're holding those tag titles until Legado del Fantasma takes them from them.
Yep, exactly.
Shane's birthday tweet, just because Kyle is a bad guy doesn't mean he can't be a nice guy. It's true.
True. Yeah, Dimension. I like it. Get out of here, you fat dork.
Roddy.
Oh, God. Roderick Strong is so good. Let's see here.
Jonathan just says Popeye's chicken sandwich is good. Confirmed. Thanks, guys. Oh, it's delicious.
Awesome. Love it. Wolfpack for life. Is the probability of Ciampa being the leader of Retribution at 0? Oh yeah, less than 0.
Yeah.
It's clearly it's Dijak, Dio Madden, Mia Yim, Shane Thorne. Apparently Mojo's not going to be in it now. That's what I read.
Yeah. O-Dog, is it me or does Thatcher only win matches during Thatcher training sessions? Only when I remember him having the only win I remember him having was the one that sent Riddle to SmackDown. He won some matches before that.
That was like his most high profile win for sure. But no, they've had him beat. I'm not going to say jobbers necessarily, but hasn't he?
He beat Bronson Reed because Austin Theory got interfered.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing, what would an angle between Damian Priest and Rob Van Dam look like?
Rob Van Dam...
A hot tub match.
Yeah, Rob RVD. I mean, he's got Katie Forbes, but apparently him and his wife are not together anymore. So the whole wife and girlfriend thing did not work out. He sort of did a public overlap of the two, which is interesting. Gregory Fiella, who in NXT do you think would do best in Raw Underground? Oh, Thatch.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to really ask this, but I will. Diehard Homer. So does Ricochet go to AEW or New Japan if he is the person who isn't re-signing with WWE? So the Wrestle Talk had a story about this. That there had been apparently rumors going around that WrestleVotes, that tweet they had out the other day, that someone wasn't re-signing. And then suddenly Ricochet was heavily speculated to be that individual.
Well, clearly he'd go to AEW. That's not even a question. I really wish it was Kevin Owens, though. If it's anybody, I really would. I know Kevin Owens has always said he really likes being in the WWE.
Yeah.
But
he still has a lot of time on his contract, too.
Yeah. I just really wish. I would love to see Kevin Steen in AEW.
Oh, heck
I think
yeah,
that'd be so much fun. Somebody posted a video from 2017 Survivor Series face-off between Team Raw and Team SmackDown. And it was like Jericho just putting AJ and everybody on Team SmackDown on the list. But you have Jericho out there. You have Dean Ambrose out there. Roman, Seth. And it's like, oh, my God. There's enough talent here for 2 national companies. Sure enough.
Fast forward 3 years later.
But, dude, how great how amazing would it be to see Kevin Steen and Jericho back together?
Amazing.
Wouldn't that be just, oh, God.
Nicholas Grosskirth, in kayfabe, who is more delusional, Jay towards Roman or Drake towards Dane? No, I think Drake Maverick fully understands.
Oh yeah,
what's going on. I don't know if Jay does, or if Jay does, he's kind of has blinders up because it's his family.
Did you see the match announced for SmackDown?
Yeah,
another tag match, but it's a street fight now.
And then part of the stipulation for that is Roman has to be the first one out for the match.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. I'm actually looking forward to SmackDown. I like this Roman thing. Yeah, clearly it's Jay. That dude does not know, man. He's blinded.
This is a good question from Zondo. NXT UK and Ring of Honor are both doing an MMA style tournament with rounds and stuff. Would you prefer wrestling becoming more real or more cartoonish?
I like a good mix of the two, man.
Exactly. I'm not going to choose between one or the other. Why not just have both?
I don't need, it's funny because people talk about, I know that they talk about when AEW had, I don't even remember, was it Tony Khan or somebody said that AEW is planning on being more sports-centric. I don't care about that. I don't need it to come off like a real sport. I really like AEW has rankings to justify certain storyline things. I think that's a really smart move. I think it's an added layer of story you can add to things. I think that NXT, I don't know if maybe their original counter programming to AEW was, oh, you're going to be sports centric, we're going to be more sports centric. And that's why we got all those episodes of NXT where it was endless 25-minute matches with not a lot of story stuff going on. But I just wasn't into it. I like a good mix of goofiness, of drama, of comedy, of seriousness, of really great wrestling, of squash matches. If you have a really good mix combo of those things, then you can have a really good product.
Yeah, definitely. White Brownie 92. So we know the build up to Survivor Series are always each brand invading each other. Is it possible Retribution will be forgotten by then? No, probably not. It'll probably be a thing where they're kind of heavily involved in whatever's going on, at least if they want to make Retribution feel somewhat important.
Boy, they have to do something.
Yeah.
They got to do something.
Gareth Ash, should Breezango really be returning to the fashion police gimmick now that they have the titles? Is it a smart choice considering the social climate surrounding police brutality?
Oh, I don't put one with the other.
Mm-mm.
I don't. That
now,
being
the
said,
question, should your champions have a comedy gimmick?
Who was it that said Bennett? Mike Bennett said that his conversation with Vince McMahon was it? No, was it him? No, it was Ken Anderson. It was Anderson. Said that Vince once told him, "Hey, you want to make sure you don't end up as a comedy guy because they don't draw money," which it's kind of hard to dispute, to be honest with you. Like, I kind of get that. I just, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like things are somewhat different in NXT. Like as a tag team, I think even on the main roster, we've seen teams sometimes just kind of put together where part of their angle is comedic.
Okay, that's a lot different though. That's a lot different.
No, it is. But I'm saying I think if you're talking main eventer singles, to a degree I get that. I don't know if the same thing necessarily holds true for tag teams. So I think as a tag team, you can have a more comedy-focused gimmick and still get over and be champion.
So here's the thing. There's a difference between, like, okay, you can look at the New Day, for example. I've never considered them a comedy act, even though 80% of their persona is steeped in, I would say, fun more than just actual comedy.
Totally, yeah.
When they've actually done actual comedy, more oftentimes than not, you get stuff like the Gallows and Anderson old day stuff, you know, that stuff is just terrible. That's, to me, that's not a comedy, because when it comes time for their feud with the Usos, which they did endlessly,
they got serious.
It was always great, and it was always intense and serious, and it was great.
So here's some examples of comedy tag teams that got over: the Miz and Damien Sandow. Mizdow was a comedy gimmick, and he got over.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing about that, though. He got over doing a comedy gimmick that was that should have, that everybody wanted that to head to a dramatic encounter, a turn between him and the Miz, where he would finally get the comeuppance. There was a direction with that comedy gimmick.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you put two Santinos in a tag team, unless they had like serious stuff going on, like I can't see it. I couldn't see Santino as a WWE champion.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Well, I'm just talking strictly tag teams, because I just feel like the premise is you want to be taken more seriously as a singles competitor. That I can kind of understand to a degree, but I think it's different for tag teams. I think you can be a tag team, have a comedic gimmick, get over, and still be champion.
All right, let's look at more examples then. You got something funny.
Team Hell No. Granted, both good wrestlers, and they can kick up the intensity.
There's a story there between them, though.
But also, it's the story was highly comedic.
I would consider mainly Primo and Epico when they were the bullfighters. That's a comedy gimmick. But it was also Primo and Epico. They were never going to be over anyways.
Those are the two best examples I can find. I understand there's stories going on, interpersonal stories. It's not strictly a comedic thing, but there's comedic elements they still got over. I just think it's different with tag teams. I think tag teams can get over as a comedy act and still be champions.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's examples of it though.
Well, AEW was third in the demo, and NXT was 31st.
Oh my gosh. Let's see here.
Hood Alex has a point here. It says the whole storyline of Breezango winning the title is that now they are serious in the ring like last night. That's true. They made the point of saying, we'll have fun outside, but once we step through these ropes, it's all business. And they've largely held to that.
Yeah. Yeah. But then what gets them over? The seriousness, It's like the fact that these guys are taking it serious in the ring. So I don't know. I mean, if they started doing the fashion police, the fashion file stuff again, I don't know. I
mean, I think they could do that kind of fun stuff outside the ring, so long as you could take them seriously as competitors in the ring. That's what really matters. As long
as the characters understand. See, that's the difference between like a comedy gimmick team, which is just two gimmicks together, or one gimmick, brought to life by two performers, versus two characters. Like the Fashion Files, at a certain point, they got so weird. And yeah, it was funny and it was entertaining, but they got so weird. It's like, okay, you guys are playing people who are completely unrelatable. When you see the video package with Breezango now, it's like, okay, you're a bit more down to earth.
But here's the thing. When they were doing that Fashion File stuff and they had that match against the Usos for the tag titles, at every near fall, the crowd was ready to lose their minds when Breezango was on the verge of winning. If they had won the titles that night, that place would have exploded.
Yeah, I know. I still maintain I'm not sure how much, like, if that would have carried over into the next week, if people would have been popping huge for them. And
depends it depends on the quality of the work. If the quality of the work, whether it's comedic or not, I think this is for tag teams. I think it's different for tag teams. The quality of the work is good. People are going to be into it.
Well, that's for singles guys. Well, that's for everybody. If quality, people appreciate quality work regardless.
Yeah. White Brian 92 says, check out Barstool's interview with Undertaker. He legit looked like he didn't want to be there.
Wait, who? What? Not what?
Apparently Barstool has an interview with the Undertaker.
And the Undertaker looked like he didn't want to be there?
Yeah.
Well, it's Barstool. What would you expect? Let's see here. Patrick Sparks says TakeOver's on a Sunday this time instead of a Saturday. How do you feel about this choice?
When they have TakeOver on their own weekend without a pay-per-view, it's been on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's only on a Saturday if it precedes a pay-per-view.
Well, I think his question is, what do you prefer? TakeOver's on Saturday or TakeOver on Sunday?
I don't really care.
I don't really think I care either.
I mean, I guess I prefer it to be on a Sunday. That means I don't have to work both days of the weekend. Because it's on a Saturday, it means it precedes the WWE pay-per-view.
That's a good point. There you go. That's a good one. Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's all I got here.
Same.
Wait, hold on. Let me check the Discord.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
That damn Dr. Steve Winters. He didn't even have to remind me this time. Let's see here. Shy. Rhea Ripley's obviously winning that battle royal. Also, is it Kyle's time to challenge for the NXT championship? Maybe and no.
Probably needs to be a bit more of a build before he gets to...
Kyle needs much more of a build. Yeah.
Title picture. Now if we're talking North American title, maybe. But
there you go. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. We sort of did that. Dr. Steve Winters. Triple H wants his own stadium stampede. Who do you put in the Thunderdome trample and who goes over?
We could have Undisputed Era in there, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Damien Priest.
Yeah.
Oh, Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
And Dexter Loomis.
Undisputed Era versus Reed, Priest, Loomis, and...
Cameron Grimes.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back
tomorrow for SmackDown.
Tomorrow night for SmackDown. That's right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.